Let's dive deeper into the meteorology behind it all, right? What's expected in the next couple of hours, especially as we head into Sunday morning?
Yeah, Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross is tracking it all live, and he joins us now. Bryan, I have like a million questions I want to ask you. First, I guess the most relevant one. This is a low-end Category 1 hurricane. I was looking at the Doppler on the south side of the Big Island. There's mesovortices in that would-be core, and it looked like for a moment they were trying to tug that center toward the south point.
Yeah, I mean, it's been inching to the north, right? It's 50 miles away. I don't think it's going to make landfall. I think it's going to slide by. I must say the Hurricane Center forecast was amazing this afternoon. They did this compromise on the models and brought it right up to South Point and then adjusted it a little bit. It's really been amazing to watch this interplay between the circulation and the mountains, and like you say, all those vortices that all the complicated wind factors all come into play all at the same time. It's really something. All right, so there's where the system is now. Look at the satellite presentation, and you can see it kind of wraps up, but then it gets all chaotic. So it is chaotic. That's exactly the word there. 75 miles per hour, 8 o'clock advisory, northwest at 8 on average. So you just take the average of this movement here, and you see northwest just below the southernmost point in the United States, and they're still estimating 988. There you see the 50 miles south. All right, we can look on the visible satellite picture. Now take a look here, and this can fool you. It can be like a kind of a sucker thing here, but it kind of looks like the center is a little to the north, but they use the radar to find the center because the clouds can kind of goof you up here. But you can see that it has a pretty good looking core on the satellite, almost like it's trying to wrap up. And you can imagine why that might happen, for the same reason that it might get torn apart, is the wind comes in here and then it gets deflected this way, and that can enhance the circulation of this thing, or it can like make a jet into it and kind of try and kill it off. Look at it close up, and you can really see this. Here comes the circulation in here, hits the mountains, and then comes down this way. So which is it? What's the balance? How does the kind of chaotic nature of the wind change things? But that's an interesting and open question. What we don't, in the Caribbean, we have 14,000-foot mountains. What we don't have normally in the Caribbean is a storm coming directly into them or right next to them, perpendicular on with the winds hitting it, and because you have Haiti and it's a little different. If it goes over the peninsula of Haiti, you have that kind of thing. But paralleling the mountains is a very different thing. So anyway, we don't get to do this very often, and we certainly don't get to do this in Hawaii. So it's a kind of a new experience for all of us here. All right, so let's take a look at the radar aloft and what you were talking about, Ian. Just in terms of velocity, you can see the dark blues embedded in here. That's up to 80-mile-an-hour winds in there, and you see where that's rotating. That's rotating up to this coast down here. So you have two things going on. So look, this is coming in here. This is going to be really bad on this coast because this is going to be hurricane force winds up there at elevation, and the elevation goes up in a big hurry from that coast. And then over here, look, you have another very strong band coming in up here. So this entire coast south of Hilo all the way down to South Point is just getting pounded right now, and that's with the wind going in and hitting those mountains, and then aloft, of course, it's always stronger. Here are the winds that we have that are measured, and you see 60 down to the south, 53. Here's a 75. So this Waimea up to the north, which is on the downslope of Mauna Kea, 75 hurricane force gusts there, and 61 up here to the north. And that's because the wind is coming in here, and then some goes this way and gets squeezed that way. Some goes this way and gets squeezed that way. And that's where you get the stronger wind around the mountains. And the same thing is happening over the top of the mountain, where we had the 127-mile-an-hour gust way up at over 13,000 feet. And in those gaps between the mountains, that squeezes the wind. So all these different factors to do with the mountain changes the wind flow that we're just not used to dealing with Gulf Coast hurricanes or Florida hurricanes or anywhere along the coast here. So here you see on Maui, this is on the north side of the mountain there, but elevated quite a bit. So same kind of idea. Comes along here, the wind splits and gets squeezed both ways, so you get the stronger wind going around the mountain. But look up here, even on Molokai, strong winds. So there's this northern extent where the hurricane is down here and high pressures to the north, and you get this band of wind in between, and that's what's going to affect the entire Hawaiian Island chain. Over here on Oahu, at HNL, that's the international airport there, gusting to 36. So we'll watch the winds increase there, obviously, as the storm gets closer in. All right, on the radar here, we can see the eye here. We can see it, and doesn't it look like it's shrinking a little bit? That the diameter of it is shrinking a little bit, like it's kind of trying to wrap up a little bit. Anyway, that's what they calculate the center on, and that's 50 miles to the south of South Point right there. And unless it does something really weird, it's going to miss landfall. It's going to miss its chance in the record book and head up this way. Now, the big question is, does this really survive, or does it kind of come apart and another low pressure system form? We'll look at that in just 1 second here, but this really tells the story. So here's Hilo, and look, just south of Hilo is that jet of rain and moisture going into the mountains, and then it just sits there and kind of goes around and around and around and dumps and dumps and dumps. It's just going to be horrible, I think, south of Hilo. I don't know if Mike is going to be able to get down there tomorrow. We'll see what condition the Hawaii Belt Road is, 11, that goes all the way around the Big Island. And then we have this issue here of where is the low pressure going to be, because there is the storm more or less in the model. It's obviously a little bit off, a little bit ahead. But notice over here, we have low pressure kind of trying to form, and that's related to this wind going around the mountain and kind of going like this and forming a low over here. So the big question through the afternoon has been, if this circulation gets too close to the mountain and gets too torn up, does it just kind of jump over here and reform? Some of the models have indicated that that would be the case. It's kind of looking like that's probably not going to happen, but I'm certainly not 100% on that because we're not clear of the mountains yet. But it looks like the main circulation is going to survive, and that might make it be a little stronger. Still probably going to weaken, but that it's going to be close. So exactly how much damage is going to be done to the circulation remains to be seen. The damage is being done to the southern half of the island of Hawaii, no matter what occurs with that. So here's the Hurricane Center's analysis. Here are the tropical storm force sustained winds at the surface. This means up near hurricane force gusts aloft. So strong 60 mile an hour, say to 75 mile an hour winds aloft. In the yellow area, this is hurricane force gusts at the ocean. That means hurricane force sustained winds aloft in that area there. And maybe you can make out right there, that's where the hurricane force sustained winds are at the ocean surface, just off of South Point. All right, let's go forward in time. And the idea was that about this hour or so, or maybe a couple hours, it'll be by. Anyway, there it is, kind of by the South Point, then moving on, so that this is at midnight tonight, Hawaii time, 6 a.m. Eastern time. The peak winds are in Maui and in Molokai, and then moving on to Oahu during the day tomorrow, so that by Sunday morning, the winds are tapering off in Oahu and then moving on out and just fringing Kauai. But just because the yellow misses doesn't mean on the mountains you're not going to have strong winds. So the heart of this thing is on the Big Island. The other islands are going to get some strong winds. There will be power outages. There will be issues, maybe flooding on the windward slopes. But this is all about the Big Island, and it's going to happen tonight. Ian?
Bryan, I know you're following everything that's playing out here. McLeod shared with us some of the sensors from the telescopes up there at the top of Mauna Kea. I had driven up there with my wife. We went to the Subaru telescope. One of them is reporting 31 degrees, and the sensor says iced with a question mark. Is there any precedent to that, to be talking about a purely tropical system? This is a hurricane that we're tracking. Is that rime ice? Could there be snow up top?
Well, I would think so. You know, what came to mind when I heard that earlier was Sandy. I was trying to think if the big snowstorm that was associated with Sandy started before it transitioned to what's called a post-tropical cyclone or a superstorm from a tropical system, right? That one comes to mind as having a snowstorm, but it's a whole different kind of thing involving the mountains, even though that was over higher elevations, just well inland. That was because Sandy was so big, it was throwing all that moisture inland into the cold air. But, exactly what's going on there. It would be really interesting to know. But, if the temperature is cold enough, why not? It seems like it would be kind of a Mount Washington rime ice kind of scenario, though.
Yeah, maybe late in the season. Pico Duarte, we've talked about in the past there in the DR, up over 10,000 feet. I'm trying to think of any other scenario that would even unlock that as a possibility, but just a number of really unique things that do play into the hazards that Lala presents. That's Fox Weather Hurricane Specialist Bryan Norcross. Bryan, we'll be checking back with you in just a little bit. Thank you.